Hello, it's Graham Martin with another video to prepare ourselves for the world post-coronavirus. So today I want to talk to you about your CV. I'm here today in my house in Enfield, North London with my dog Molly, just having a little snooze next to me, wearing a Hawaiian shirt just to kind of cheer things up. So let's really get into this. The essentials are that too many people have had the ability to get jobs with CVs that haven't really been good enough. Up until now, in the UK and the US and in other English-speaking territories, we've had very, very high levels of employment. In the UK, until about the end of 2019, we've had about 3.6, 3.7%, and towards Greater London, about 3.3% unemployment, with the true zero being about 3%. So we've had very, very few people that have been unemployed, and that's because we've had a really great booming economy. You know, good for some people in some areas haven't done so well. But either way, right now, as we move towards, should we say, hopefully a situation where we're going to be able to get out and about a little bit more and start to apply for jobs because employers will be saying, I'm prepared to interview, things are going to shift dramatically. Firstly, we are going to find that unemployment is going to rocket. I don't think anybody's quite ready for exactly what's going to happen yet, but we could be looking for a doubling of levels of unemployment in the UK. Now, some of you are currently on furlough, other people have sadly been made redundant, other people are working from home, either on part-time hours or fully. But I know from my experience, bearing in mind I go back 32 years in this sector, that we're about to be in a situation where a lot of people are going to be shocked. A lot of people that didn't go through the recessions of let's say 1990, 92, 2002, 2004, and of course more recently the one predicated by the credit crisis in 2008, 2009, which I think for people around the southeast of England went through to about 2014 and 15, when companies started to pick up again and started to employ. And certainly in the UK, we've had, as recruiters, a real struggle finding quality candidates in the last 4 years, because the best people are working, they're being looked after for the most part. Sorry if that offends some people, but it's true. And recruiters and employers have found that they've had to pay top dollar, big money, to get the right people. And those people have often had the ability to move on to other jobs really quickly because there's been a huge demand. Well, that is going to go through a 180-degree shift, and we've got to be ready for it. So we need to talk about the CV. Lots of CVs that I've been looking at recently, frankly, they're just not good enough. And if people don't update their CV and make them AI friendly, then there's going to be a real challenge, because up until now, I know that about 65% of CVs are not looked at by people with human eyes. It's by artificial intelligence, it's algorithms. You know, if you go onto LinkedIn and you want to search somebody's credentials, of course, you're not actually saying, I'm going to look through every single CV. No, there are algorithms that will pull out people's credentials based upon experience, qualifications, and so forth. And if you put your job on your CV rather, on Reed or Total or CV Library or any of the other fantastic websites, and of course I'm not familiar with exactly which ones there are in America, but you've got the equivalent over there, South Africa, Australia and Canada as well, well then again Boolean search will pull up certain people's CVs quicker than others. So just that simple process of recognising that it's keywords and key phrases that are going to get you the result, you know, doesn't it mean it makes sense to spend a bit of time thinking about how we can get our CV match fit, ready for the new employment situation? And also bearing in mind, I think that as organisations increasingly rely upon AI search mechanisms to replace people's eyes having a first look at CVs, you know, if you don't, should we say, resonate with AI today, you're not going to get noticed. Now, let's go from the top, shall we? And I'm saying this whether or not you're going to be posting a CV physically in the mail, emailing it, or whether you're going to be uploading it onto one of the many software packages that are going to get you noticed. Or indeed, if you're applying online, the same situation applies. You know, if you've got a large organisation, then you're not going to get looked at by people. Maybe you're going to get looked at people on the second or maybe the third actual part of the process of the filtering system. Scary, isn't it? Whole new world. So let's get ready. So 2 pages, no more than 2 pages are what you need. Now, I've had so many discussions, sometimes heated debates with people, because they say, well, Graham, I've got so much experience. Well, yes, that might be relevant, you think, if you're sitting in front of somebody and they want to know more. But when you're talking about AI, software, and busy, overworked recruiters and HR departments, we don't have time to go through. We know what we're looking for, and what we're looking for is clarity. So from the top, you got your name, probably the town or your postcode that you live in. And I think it's really, really important, because increasingly when companies want to recruit people that live fairly close to where they are, so many people that I speak to and I'm talking to, they've got, you know, Jane Smith, London, and I'm recruiting for somebody in North London or South London. Well, it then behoves me to actually make physical contact with that person or email them and say, where are you? So please put your postcode. It'll mean that you're going to get dropped out of some searches, but you're going to rise to the top for other ones, okay? So your postcode and your telephone number, your email address, and your LinkedIn profile. Now, I just want to talk about your mobile telephone number. If you've got a mobile phone, if you've got a smartphone, most of us, or 99% of the job seekers these days, have got a mobile phone. Just think about what your message is, please. So if you have a very jokey message, or one where there's a load of funky music first, and it might be great for your friends, but if you're an employer or a recruiter and you've got to listen to that, frankly, your style of music, not necessarily my style, it's frustrating. It takes time. So just get rid of the music, get rid of the daft messages. I've rang employees, potential employees, and they've said, hi, it's John here, leave me a message, I might call you back. Well, yeah, great, haha, if you're one of John's friends. But if I'm trying to offer you an opportunity, I want to talk to you about a job, it's not really appropriate, is it? It just gets us off on the wrong foot, would you agree? So just think about your message on your answer phone. And if you're going to use a landline, I know some people do, again, make sure that the message on the answer phone is short and straight to the point. Hi, Graham here, sorry I can't take your call, please leave a message, I'll ring you back as soon as I can, or call my mobile perhaps. Let's think about email addresses. Now, I've talked about this before on other videos, but I still see it, not as often, but I remember a couple of years ago I had Sexy Sue and some numbers after her name at gmail.com. Well, you know, did I want to meet Sexy Sue? Actually, I didn't want to meet Sexy Sue. I want to have a conversation with somebody who was serious about job hunting. Now, my son's now in his mid-20s, and when he was a teenager, he used to have a sort of a fairly, well, I think he's still got it, a personal email that included a reference to the football team that he supports. And I said to him, as you get a little bit older, you might need to think about having a different email. So, of course, he does have a more professional email now, but he still has got his football fan club version for his friends, so he can differentiate who's emailing. So, for the purposes of a CV, I might be Graham Martin 1234 or whatever it happens to be, okay? So just think about that, please. LinkedIn profile as well. You can have a lot of fun with LinkedIn profiles, but if you put / and then you can put something which is unique to you, you might need to research a little bit. So I'm Graham Martin, the recruitment guy 1, for example, okay? And on my Skype profile, again, it's something relating to recruitment. So let's now look at the personal statement. And this for me is absolutely essential, even more so now when we're thinking about AI. This is your ability, your opportunity, your one chance to make a great impression with human beings and with computers. So think about it and put some work in and really craft it. So you're talking about, you know, who you are, your background, your experience, your skills, what you can bring to the party, and what type of business and role you're specifically looking for. What I urge you, I beg you, please avoid cliches and kind of catchphrases. Enthusiastic, hardworking, ambitious, team player. Seriously, it means nothing. And if people say honest, I think, really, do we really think that you're more honest because you put honest in your profile? Sometimes CV writing houses like to justify their I think, inappropriate sums by making a profile sound very, very fancy. And yet imagine if you are in a lift with Richard Branson or any other entrepreneur somebody that you admire and you want to catch their attention. It's called the elevator pitch, isn't it? You've got 60 seconds to ride the elevator, or the lift as we call it in the UK, from the ground floor to the 6th floor. You've got 60 seconds, and Branson or some other person says to you, so tell me about you. You're not going to say I'm an enthusiastic, ambitious, hard-working team player with great communication skills, are you? Because that's a given, isn't it? Everybody thinks they do. Whether they have or not, it's a given. In the same way that most people think they're great drivers. Nobody's average or below average. The reality is, of course, the bell curve. Some people at the bottom side, some people at the top. Majority of drivers are in the middle, me included. But let's think back about what we're going to say to Richard Branson. You're going to say something around the fact that with 25 years experience in accounting, CIMA qualified, ACA, whatever it happens to be, specialising in, let's say for Richard Branson, specialising in the airline sector, having worked in XYZ locations, I have achieved this. My specific skills are, let's say, usage of SAP, Xero, Excel Advanced, whatever it happens to be, and I'm now looking for a job as a financial controller in the Heathrow area, earning a salary of between £70,000 and £90,000, including benefits. So Branson would say, aha, this person lives near to where I have my main groupings in Heathrow. It might be Gatwick, forgive me, but you get the idea. And this is what they can do. These are their experiences, and this is what they're looking for. So think about how you craft that. I've often said in other videos that this opening statement it's really about your trailer for your film, your feature film. And I know this for a fact that the cinemas, the studios, put 2/3 of their budget into creating that trailer that you either see it on the television or might you be see it on your phone. Or for a lot of people, I go to the cinema probably 3-4 times a month. What I really enjoy, of course, are the trailers. I think it's the best bit. I'm not interested in the adverts. I want to see what the trailers are like. So you know, if you've got a Bond film coming up, well, you know it's starring, in this instance, Daniel Craig, and there's a baddie, and there's a gunfight, and there's a car chase, and there's some glamorous locations. There are some amazing gadgets, and it's going to be really, really fun to watch. But you're not going to get that across if you just say, well, it's an adventure film, and it's a bit of a thriller, and it's got a famous actor, and there might be some car chases, and there might be a few glamorous locations, and just, you know, you hear my voice, I'm just not excited about that, am I? But if you think about the archetypal Bond movie, or anything else you're into, Game of Thrones, think about the way that they promoted Game of Thrones. If you saw the trailer, you were dragged forward, weren't you? You had to go and see it. Back to my son again, he's a real big Star Wars fan, and I know that for him, watching the trailers, the next Star Wars fan, yeah, he would be up at night waiting for it to be released at midnight just to be one of the first to see the trailers, because for him it's exciting. Other people, of course, they're interested in Marvel or DC Comics. Just think about your favourite movie and how they promote them. So that's what you've got to do in your opening statement. Now the next thing is crucial. We're looking about a departure from just going straight into your employment history and create a list of key skills here and key achievements here. I suggest no more than 5 on each side. And again, don't let them run over. If you want to divide it into 2 columns, by all means you can do so. If not, just list them 1 to 5 and then 1 to 5 like that. But of course, I reckon you should use the full width of the piece of paper. Then we're going to go into, excuse me, employment history, and we go for the most recent backwards. Now, if you've got 25, 30, 40 years experience, well then you can't put as much detail in the last jobs as you would do in the more recent ones. So spend more time on the more recent jobs first and give a brief description about the company, what they do, who they do it for, turnover staff. If you're leading a team, put the size of the staff, and you might want to put just down 5 key duties or objectives, and then your key achievements. Again, this is crucial, and in specific software you've used. Now this is a departure for a lot of people. I think you should put down the reason for leaving. I'm going to make the assumption that you're not a job hopper, you don't have problems in employment. Put the reasons that you move from one company to the other, because excuse me, whilst AI might not understand the situation, if you've got human eyes looking at it and you have had a couple of jobs in a 5-year period, well then you need to explain why. Maybe you've relocated, maybe you changed direction completely, maybe something happened in your life, maybe you had a change of focus, but you need to justify it, you need to explain why. So less time going backwards, explain shifts and changes in career history and what you've been doing. And then we can start talking about education. Now, if you've got a degree, professional qualification, put it at the top, just to one side of your name. So if you're ACA qualified or you're LLB solicitor or whatever else you happen to be, put that at the top. But at the bottom, again, in reverse. So your most recent experience first. So your further degree, your advanced degree, and then your initial degree, and your other qualifications. And then you might want to put your secondary education, IB, excuse me, A-levels, college experience, and go back a little bit. And then lastly, interests. Now, think about this. Please don't put that you like going out with your friends, that you're a sociable character. Well, you know, most of us are. It doesn't set you aside. If you're into reading literature, put your couple of favourite authors. If you're into movie, put a specific genre. If you like hill walking, you've got to be ready to answer questions about hill walking, where you've been. So if you say I'm a big theatre buff, well, you sit in front of somebody else who's also a theatre buff, and they ask you questions about the last play you went to see, and the last time you went was, I don't know, you saw Shrek on the stage, let's say 10 years ago. Doesn't really cut it. And I only suggest you put down 3 interests, no more. They don't want to see pages and pages and reams and reams. If you've got Duke of Edinburgh, if you've done VSO, voluntary service overseas, or anything like that, please put that in, because I think that those things are as important as good grades at further education. If you play in a band, if you're a band leader, if you've been working on trumpet for many years, you've reached grade 8 or merit or whatever it happens to be, please put those in. So there we go. That's my synopsis of how to create an AI-friendly, post-coronavirus winning CV. We'll come on to cover letters and other aspects later, but from me right now, that's about it. I hope you've taken it all in, but please spend the time. Remember, this is your advert. This is what's out there. What you've already sent to people, you can't change. You can't put it back in. It's a bit like social media. Once you've posted a post, for the most part, it's there forever. So be very, very careful. But if you do have any challenges around this, just contact me, the normal sense. I'll be able to give you some information directly. So good luck with that. Make sure you get your email right. Make sure you ensure that your message on your answer phone is spot on as well. Good luck from me, Graham Martin and Molly, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.